Alright. Fuck your mom. Kinda low on the damage side, right? For Tekken 8, yes. Look at that, fucking 59 damage combo, like what? Why are you even showing this? His frames are busted, he doesn't need damage, everything will land. I mean, he has long legs. That should equal long range, right? Technically. Quargy, Kajul, welcome back 80 months. Torodainus and Copia. Ifud, Kiru, and Hi-Ho, MC. Thanks for 7. Welcome back.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the third video of the C++ tutorial series on Neural 9. In today's video we're going to build the first simple hello world program, and we're going to also compile and run it on Windows. So let us get right into it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new file and call it main.cpp. You can actually call it whatever you want as long as it's something.cpp. And then we're going to open it up in Visual Studio Code. And one thing that you're going to see right away is that we cannot just go ahead and start coding. You cannot just go ahead and say, okay, I want to print hello world, so let me go ahead and say print hello world. In C++, what we need is a so-called main function, an entry point for the program. Now in Python, you can just go ahead and execute simple statements because Python is interpreted, but also a scripting language. You can just write scripts and they get executed from top to bottom. Of course, you can have functions and classes and all of that. But essentially, you don't need to specify this is my main function. This is the entry point of the program. You just go ahead and you start it. You can do it, but you don't need to do it. In C++, you need to do it. You need to specify a so-called main function in order to get the program running in the first place. And in order to define that main function, what you do is you type int main, then parentheses, and then curly brackets that specify the code block of that function. And since it's a function with the so-called return value int, or return data type int, which is integer, we need to add a return statement in the end here as well. We're just going to return 0. And now you might see why I meant that maybe you're going to be a little bit confused if you've never programmed before. You don't know what int is, you don't know what a function is, you don't know what a return value is, and now you have to learn all of these things. If you know Python decently, or if you're decent at Python, you know what a return value is, you know what a function is, and you know what an integer is. You maybe are confused why we write a data type before the function name, but that's all. And it might be a little bit confusing for a beginner to see all these things in the first video already, but that's what you need to do in C++. It's also, by the way, what you need to do in Java and C#. You also need a main function there. But we're going to not get too deep into the theory of what a function is and what a data type is. We're going to cover all those things in future videos. But for now, what's important is that this is the main method, main function. Sorry, it's not a method. The main function, which is essentially the entry point of the script. So everything that we want to do, we're going to put in here. By the way, this is a comment with 2 slashes. You can initialize a comment. This is not something that is taken into account by the compiler. You can write whatever you want here, whatever you want, and it's not going to have any effect on your script. It's just for taking notes, for example. Now, our goal was to write a hello world program. So we need something that allows us to print hello world onto the screen. And in Python, this was a print function. In C++, it's a cout function. The function is called cout, but we cannot just use it directly with the default stack of libraries, with the default functionality. In order to use it, what we need to do is we need to import or to include a library called IOStream. And in order to include a library here, we use a hashtag symbol to initialize that we're going to include something right now, or actually to initialize it, we're using a so-called preprocessor directive, but this is a concept for a future video. And then we're going to say include IOStream. This is how you include.
Alright, I hope you learned something, chat. I hope you learned something.